From ancient times to today, one question has echoed through every culture and every age. If God created the universe, then who created God? Let's explore how science, philosophy, and modern physics have tried to answer this question, and how Stephen Hawking's ideas challenge the very need for a creator. Before we dive in, it's important to make one thing clear. Hawking never set out to destroy anyone's belief in God. He just wanted to show that you don't need God to understand how the universe works. In his book, Leonard Mlodinow shares a conversation with Hawking, where Hawking explains that his goal was never to challenge religious belief. Hawking says, "I want to make my position clear without being violently anti-religion like Richard Dawkins," he continued. "I have just been sent his book, The God Delusion. I agree with most of it, but I don't think it is necessary to be so aggressive." Mlodinow adds, Stephen was sensitive about not wanting to insult or anger readers who believed in God. In other words, his goal wasn't to challenge faith, but to do physics. Section 1. Myth to Law. In the beginning, humanity explained the world through myth. Lightning, storms, disease, eclipses. These were seen as signs of divine moods or punishments. As Hawking and Mlodinow put it, ignorance of nature's ways led people to invent gods to lord it over every aspect of human life. Eclipses were wolves devouring the sun, earthquakes, gods battling beneath the earth. But over time, some civilizations started noticing patterns. Babylonian astronomers discovered that eclipses followed predictable cycles. Greek philosophers like Thales and Anaximander proposed that nature wasn't ruled by divine whim, but by consistent principles. They began replacing gods with laws. Section 2. Religion and order. Progress wasn't linear. In medieval Christian Europe, thinkers like Thomas Aquinas saw nature's order as proof of a divine designer. Some church authorities even resisted the idea of natural laws, because laws implied limits on God's power. In that worldview, the universe was God's dollhouse. Miracles were his way of stepping in. Then came the scientific revolution. Descartes believed God created the laws of nature, then let them run. Newton agreed, but thought God occasionally reset the cosmic clock. But in the 18th century, Laplace showed that planetary motion corrected itself naturally. When Napoleon asked where God fit into his theory, Laplace replied, "I have not needed that hypothesis." This led to scientific determinism, the idea that everything follows a complete, exceptionless set of laws. If miracles can break those laws, then they're not really laws. So in this framework, there's no room for supernatural intervention. Section 3. The deeper question. But then we hit a deeper mystery. Why is there something rather than nothing? Why does the universe exist at all? Why these laws and not others? Some say, because God created it. But Hawking and Mlodinow point out a problem. If everything needs a cause, then God must need one too. Saying God is the exception just pushes the mystery back a step. It doesn't solve it. So, who created God? If the answer is no one, God just exists, then we've accepted that something can exist without a creator. And if that's possible, why not the universe itself? Section 4. The Grand Design. In the Grand Design, Hawking and Mlodinow build this idea on 6 key foundations. 1. Laws of nature as self-sufficient. They argue the universe runs on fixed laws, not divine will. Once these laws exist, they govern everything, even the creation of universes. Because there is a law such as gravity, the universe can and will create itself from nothing. Creation isn't supernatural, it's physics. 2. Spontaneous creation and quantum mechanics. Quantum theory allows particles and even entire universes to pop into existence from a vacuum. This vacuum isn't nothing, but a dynamic field. Quantum fluctuations can generate energy. In a universe with gravity, those fluctuations can become permanent. This process, spontaneous creation, explains why there's nothing, no divine spark needed. 3. M-theory and the multiverse. M-theory suggests multiple universes can exist, each with different laws. In this multiverse, universes form spontaneously. Only those with life-friendly conditions will have observers like us. So the fine-tuning of our universe, it's not design, it's selection. We live in a universe that allows life, because otherwise we wouldn't be here to notice. 4. Model-dependent realism. They introduce model-dependent realism, the idea that reality is best understood through models we build and test. Asking what really exists beyond those models, like whether God is behind the laws, is meaningless unless it changes what we observe. Invoking God doesn't improve the model. It just swaps one mystery for another. 5. The first cause argument. The classic theological claim is that God is the first cause. But Hawking and Molodinov respond, if the answer is God, then the question has merely been deflected to that of who created God. Science, they argue, can explain the universe's origin from within, using laws like gravity and quantum mechanics, without needing an external cause. 6. No need for divine intervention. They conclude, spontaneous creation is the reason there is something rather than nothing, why the universe exists, why we exist. In short, physics is enough. God isn't disproven, but he's no longer required to explain how the universe began. Section 5. Selection, not design. Modern physics suggests universes can originate spontaneously from the quantum vacuum. No external designer required. The universe can create itself. Even the apparent fine-tuning doesn't need a designer. If our universe is just one of many, one bubble in a vast multiverse, then it's no surprise that at least one universe happens to support life. Just as Earth isn't the center of the solar system, our universe may not be the center of reality. So when people say, the universe is perfectly designed, Hawking and Molodinov respond, we observe this universe because only in such a universe can observers exist. There is no miracle, only selection. Conclusion. Across history, gods explained what we couldn't. Science replaced myth with laws. And now, physics may explain why those laws exist without needing a divine creator. So when we ask, who created God? We're not solving the mystery. We're just renaming it. Maybe the universe doesn't need a creator. Maybe it creates itself through natural law. And maybe the only real miracle is that we can understand it.